Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to go over the tier list for the week 1 master items from the Clutch Moments event. We got 5 new master set players, and by the end of this video, you're going to know who you should go and take depending on your team. Now, I do need to mention again, I think that this is going to depend mostly on your team makeup and the cards that you've already made prior. I don't think that there is a end-all be-all. This one is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it is all going to depend on the cards that you have. For example, if you've got some fantasy card items, then some of the defensemen maybe are not going to be nearly as valuable. If you've got Bobby Holik and maybe Team of the Year Matthews, making a center might not be the play, and so forth. If you've got McKinnon and Lemieux and you're using them on the wing, then obviously Philip Forsberg might not be the best play for you, but I'll explain all that as I go through. Guys, I'd really appreciate it if you do subscribe, as it really does help me out. All right, let's get into it. Now, something to keep in mind is that they are jumped up to 95 overalls, meaning that it will cost you 7 to make a specific one in the sets, and that will run you about 430,000 when all is said and done if you can get each collectible for about 5,000 coins. So we are getting quite expensive, and that is going to play into the rankings and the tiers of some of these cards because their counterparts and the players from some of the prior events, because they are lower overalls, they are far cheaper in that sense. So just remember that when we're going through this. All right, starting in the B tier, no surprises here. It's going to be the 95 Marc-Andre Fleury. There should be no way or anyone in this game that spends 430,000 coins in value on a goaltender unless you've dumped a mortgage payment into the game, essentially, because he is not going to win you games, especially with how goaltenders have played out. I will say that he's got a phenomenal synergy combo, 2 skating, and then thief, as well as probably the 5 best superstar abilities. And we did get boosted up to 60 in terms of the APs. I would still love to see anyone try this card out and use all 5 and report back, but until they stop throwing the puck into their own nets, goaltenders just simply won't matter, and that is why he is in the B tier. All right, next up in the B tier, which might be a little surprising, but again, I need to explain my rankings here. We're going to go with the 95 Alec Martinez. Now, 6'1", 210 with 95 speed and 94 acceleration might stun some people in the sense that why is he in the B tier? As well, he's got everyone's favorite ability, Truculence, and if you really want to go overboard, he's got Shutdown as well. But really, the only ability you need to activate on him is Truculence. Now, I mentioned earlier in the intro that it is going to depend a lot on the circumstance of your team build. Now, obviously, we have had a ton of left-handed defensemen that have been in the Master Set releases over the last few weeks. We've got Hampus Lindholm, we've got the 3 big ones from the next-gen event, and then we've got this Alec Martinez. So I'm going to use my own website. We're going to go head over to HutHub, and we're going to use the compare feature, and I'm going to show you why I think that he is in the B tier. All right, now you have to remember when it comes to making these, the cost is now getting very, very expensive because they go up to 95. EA does not level off the cost because while they are expensive, everyone's cards are much higher. I think that they should probably stay roughly the same in terms of price because getting a 90 overall back in October has the same impact as a 95 now when everyone's teams are much higher rated, but that's for a whole other argument. But because the cost is now shot up to about 430,000 coins per Master Set player, we really have to take that into account. So as you can see on the screen here, using the compare feature on HutHub, again, you can go to, the link is down below if you want to sign up and use my Hockey Hut database. So we've got Alec Martinez up here, Hampus Lindholm, who was a popular choice, and then we've got Jake Sanderson from the Next Gen event. I'm not even including Power and Edvinsson. A lot of people have those as well, but I want to show you these 3 specifically. So if you haven't made Hampus Lindholm and you haven't made Jake Sanderson, and let's say you need a left-handed defenseman, let's say you are my no money spent team. I have because of the circumstances, I made Nick Lidstrom as my number 1 left-handed defenseman in the game, and clearly I need an upgrade. But let's take a look. So 6'1", 6'4", and 6'3", Martinez is the smallest of the bunch. It's not like he's small, extremely small, but when you compare the two, there is definitely a discrepancy there. The skating. Now remember, you're looking at 135,000 coins more than Jake Sanderson to make this Alec Martinez for a 2-speed increase and the exact same acceleration. Lindholm only gets a +1, so keep that in mind as well. As you go down to shooting, Lindholm is far better than both of them, But again, D-to-D one-timers just don't go in. Hand stats, Jake Sanderson is actually kind of the best just in terms of the ones that are most important. And then checking, everyone is rated around high 90s except for Lindholm, who's at 90 overall, but because he's so big, it really doesn't matter. So with all of that said and done, when you consider that it costs 130,000 coins less to make Jake Sanderson than it does Alec Martinez, that is why he is in the B tier for me. Jake Sanderson's card has silver truculence, which you need to remember because that is what separates the defenseman in this game. It is an unfortunate circumstance of abilities being in NHL that we've kind of now gotten to the point where if they don't have certain abilities, it really hurts their value. And again, I'm talking about the guys that are trying to take this super seriously and competitive. It does not mean that you need to have truculence in all your defensemen. I'm just simply trying to give you all the information that you want or need to make an informed decision if you're going to spend 400,000 coins. So in my opinion, the reason why Alec Martinez is in the B tier is not because he is not a very good card. I think he's going to be a great card, and I might even make him in the no money spent team. The reason why he's in the B tier is because I think that Lindholm, who is cheaper, but Sanderson, who is even more cheap at 130,000 coin savings, is why Alec Martinez is in the B tier. Also in the B tier is Alex Pietrangelo. So again, this card as a whole, just looking at it with all the abilities, fantastic. I hope that people don't jump all over me and say that I am saying that these cards are bad. I'm simply just making them ranked based on context, okay? Let's say you don't have one of the better right-handed defensemen. Let's say you don't even have the all-star Shea Weber, who in my opinion, I think is probably still one of the best right-handed defensemen. He's got gold stick 'em up, which is a useful ability, but it isn't nearly as useful as silver or gold truculence, and even shutdown in my opinion, because poke-checking is so hit or miss. Where I think stick 'em up receives its biggest boost in value is on players that are like 6'6", like Victor Hedman, for example, because their reach is so long. The other offensive abilities are all kind of okay. Again, nothing that you need to activate. I like activating Seeing Eye because I take so many wrist shots from the point. Everything about this card is almost perfect. There's nothing wrong with it at all. He's got 94 speed, 95 acceleration, 6'3", 215. He's going to bump lots of people off the puck because of the body checking anyways. Where you're going to run into issues, though, is players like Jaromir Jagr, who have gold unstoppable force. You sort of need truculence now to bump those guys off the puck. The reason why he is in the B tier is because you could go back one event and make Seth Jones, again, for a big savings, and it is exactly the same card, essentially. So again, keep that in mind. I think that Alex Pietrangelo is a great card. If you haven't made any of them, I would still probably make the All-Star Shea Weber first, because he's so much cheaper than Alex Pietrangelo. But again, I'm just giving you all the info. All right, into the A tier, we've got the 95 Philip Forsberg, 6'1", 205. He's got Wingman or Fly the Zone, as well as Spark and Buzzing. 95 acceleration, 96 agility, 97 balance, and 95 speed. We're getting almost maxed out now. 99 shooting hand stats, so he is completely maxed out there. With everything activated, he's got 95 body checking, and very good defensively as well. Now, we did just get Bill Guerin in the last event, in the trade deadline event, but if you did not make Bill Guerin and you don't have Mario Lemieux, or even, let's say, Nathan McKinnon, this is probably going to be the best right-handed winger that you can get in the game right now. He's got silver truculence, and again, on wingers, I don't think it's necessary, but he's got close quarters, elite edges, as well as no contest. The only thing holding him out of the S tier, making him an absolute must-make, is the fact that he doesn't have unstoppable force. If he did, he would be absolutely incredible. But the combination of skating, shooting, close quarters, elite edges, and even no contest if you want to throw on the extra ability to pick up the puck, I think Philip Forsberg is one of the best that you can make in week 1, and he's in the A tier for me from this week. All right, and then we've got John Tavares. And before I start, this rating is going to depend on context. If you have Bobby Holik, then I think he is probably an A tier centerman because he is not going to replace Bobby Holik. He's also probably not going to replace Austin Matthews. So again, if you have those two, that would definitely knock down his value. If you do not have those cards, he is an S tier centerman, someone that I think that you should and almost must make right now based on the value. You're really not going to get a much better player until we get to like team of the season at the end of the month or maybe a little bit further. But if you are looking for a centerman and you do not have the millions of coins to make Bobby Holik, you missed out on the team of the year Austin Matthews. This is an almost prototype perfect centerman build. He's got gold quick draw and 99 faceoffs, meaning that you will start with possession of the puck on almost every single faceoff if you are elite at faceoffs. He's got silver close quarters, which is one of the best offensive abilities, and silver unstoppable force. There are no complaints here for John Tavares. He's a great skater now at 95 speed and acceleration, and especially if you have the 93 overall version, if it's tradable, I'd probably sell it and look to upgrade this 95 John Tavares, because the one knock on that 93 was his abilities. This is an incredible card, but again, it will depend on the team makeup that you have. If you do not have those cards that I mentioned before, in my opinion, I would go ahead and make this one. On my no money spent team, this is probably where I'm going to go, and I'm really excited to use it. Alright guys, so that is going to do it for today's ranking video. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.